Kia ora and welcome to UFC on Sky. Ko Ravinder Hunia tōku ingoa. Now, UFC Fight Night in London at the O2 is just around the corner, and it features our very own featherweight fighter Dan Hooker, who joins me now in studio. Dan, thank you for joining us.
No trouble at all.
It's been funny times at the moment being able to see people face to face, so this is a nice change.
Yeah, it's crazy, like bouncing all around the world, going through like Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and then flying back to America, coming to New Zealand, like bouncing around the world and just seeing like, because the rules change like that when you're moving country, right? So it's quite weird. Like you go one place, there's no rules, one place, lots of rules, and then you go back and it's just mad world at the moment.
Yeah, totally. Let's talk a little bit more about that, because you told me something interesting about travelling over to the UK for this fight, which, as we all know, don't have restrictions at the moment. They've dropped them all. So how does that work for UFC fighters coming out of a country with restrictions to a country with none?
Yeah, like they just completely flagged it, right? So I'm going to go over there and then like train in gyms, and then you've obviously can have, like, you got no like form of way to prevent yourself from getting it. So I don't, like, the UFC's not testing us anymore for this fight in particular. So yeah, get over there and just mix it up, I guess. There's 20,000 people in the O2 arena, so that'll be a cool experience, because they'll just be super hungry fans. There's like a fan base that hasn't had an event like this. They haven't seen fights live and in the flesh for a couple of years now. So the O2 usually, like, they're famous, they're like world renowned for being one of the craziest crowds. So you give them 2 years to kind of bottle that energy up. I'm really excited to get over there. Like, the amount of messages I'm getting from fans, just excited to see me come over and put on a show, it's been ridiculous. So I'm just excited. I'm just excited to go over there and put on a show.
Yeah, that's so true what you say about the fans over there, because I've spoken to other fighters who have travelled and fought at the O2. And they talk about the crowd in particular. American fighters can't wait to get over to the UK just to be in that crowd at the O2. Talking about how they need to learn the words to Sweet Caroline because everyone sings that song all the time. What are your skills like on Sweet Caroline? You might have to
Not bad after a couple of beers. It's not bad. I go pretty good. But nah, that's the thing, right? Being up there in like the co-main event of like a show in the O2 is going to be, because I've felt hometown crowds, and they're just absolutely ridiculous. Like here, just Spark Arena, deafening. Some of the arenas in Australia, when the boys are fighting, when Mark Hunt's walking out and stuff like that, just absolutely deafening. It's not even like, it's like a sensory overload. You're just, the music's there, you know, the fans are going wild, the heat, and just the roar of the crowd actually gives you goosebumps when you're sitting there and you're excited. So it's really, that's like the main thing I'm excited for, is to get over there and just to experience that moment, because it's not the same as fighting in the Apex with 50 people, or fighting like, I don't know, to me that's boring. Like, that's so boring, and that's like not even the difficult part about competing. It's like the difficult part is performing when there's 20,000 people screaming at you. Like, that's the difficult part. Like, they say the same thing, you know, oh, if you were to like put a plank of wood on the ground, walk across it, no problem. Well, you put that same plank of wood 100 meters high in the air and you got to walk across it. Well, now it just becomes a whole lot more difficult. It's exactly the same thing with fighting. It's easy in the gym. Everyone's a gun. You know, everyone gives you a run for your money, and then you put a couple people there, and then some guys freeze and shake and get tired and don't do what they usually would do. Like, the situation is 90% of the fun of it to me. Like, that's the reason I like doing it, is getting out there and being under that kind of pressure.
And coming to your gym for you know, and witnessing your trainings, it looks like there's more people in your gym sometimes than at those no crowded fights.
Yeah, it just sucks. Like, it's not like no like adrenaline.
Yeah.
It's you're exactly right. It feels like sparring when you walk out. I understand there's like TV cameras there and stuff, but it's just like, it's not the same as 10,000 people. It's not the same as 20,000 people screaming at the absolute top of their lungs is just not the same as a TV camera.
What is it about a screaming crowd that gets a fighter, you know, really pumped up? And is it something that you ever get used to?
I wouldn't say you get used to it. You grow like accustomed to the feeling of it, and then I would say you miss it when it's not there. Like when it happens for the first time, you might freak out a little bit or think, oh man, this might be, you know, why did I sign up for this? But I don't know. Then you just sit back and go back to training and in the gym, and you're just like, man, I really miss that. Like I miss a moment like that. I miss the feeling of the crowd and stuff like that. It's just. Yeah, it's hard to describe. You would have to do it for yourself.
Okay. No, it's so true. And again, you're going over to London where you haven't fought before. I'm not sure if you've even been there before.
No.
So have you done a bit of research? Have you looked into things and tried to maybe picture it in your mind on what it could be like? Because obviously it's going to be a much different vibe to the US.
Nah, like that's the main thing. I haven't been to the UK before. I've been to Europe. I've spent some time cornering a fighter in Croatia, like a teammate of mine. I cornered him in Croatia, but that's as close as I got to the UK. So it's crazy. Like I love to travel, and that's like one of the best aspects of being a fighter is the lifestyle and traveling to new places and seeing these things and experiencing them for yourself. Like, and I've been all throughout Asia and North America and stuff like that. It's time to go UK. Like that's like the main reason why I took this fight, was to see somewhere new, experience like a whole new place. So yeah, I've got no real anticipation or expectations for where I'm going and what I'm going to experience. It's just you go over and experience it. That's but I'm sure that when I come back, I'll have stories to tell, and that's the real point of it.
Yeah, it's like an array of new things for you. I mean, you've been in the featherweight division before, but you're going back to it now after some time in the lightweight division. You're in a new location, you know, new opponent, new division. You know, how do you, you know, kind of put that all together, or do you just roll with the punches and it is what it is type situation?
Pumped. I'm pumped. Like I'm absolutely like so much energy at this stage of camp. Usually you're just dragging your feet and just like. Yeah, you're exhausted and tired and sick of it, but I'm not. I'm just excited. Yeah, I'm a featherweight. Like that's for sure. Like regardless of what happens in this fight, I'm a featherweight. I feel incredible.
Well, that's the other thing, is that there's going to be a lot of eyes on this fight card, mainly for you to see how you go, you know, going back into the featherweight division, but probably more so when you take to the scales to make weight for featherweight division, which is normal when a fighter is changing divisions. How has the weight watching been going?
Good. It's all like it's bang on track. It's been on track for like a long time now. It's not easy, but I'm gonna make it look easy. That's the it's the real key to it. I'll make it look easy.
You do have a way of making hard things look easy in your UFC career. You know, going over to London, you won't be going over straight away with your team in tow. So what are your travel arrangements right now, and when does it all start, you know, really knuckling down for your fight?
I had like another interview and they're just like, oh, how far actually is the travel? And I was like, well, I fly to LA 12 hours and then I'll wait around and then I get on another flight, 12 hours. So it's like flying to America and back. Yeah. Like that's really, like the travel is, you couldn't get further away. If you do it like the exact opposite side of the world is like somewhere in the middle of nowhere of Portugal. So it's like pretty close, but it's pretty close. I don't think they're going to have a show in the middle of nowhere in Portugal. So if it was, if they do, I don't want to be on that card because this is as far away as I can possibly go. But yeah, I'm expecting that. I'll get over there, and then I'm spending some time at a friend's gym in Birmingham. Mm-hmm. I heard it's in the hood. It's in like a rough part of town, so I like that. Let's experience that. Let's see some sights.
Another new experience for you.
Everyone's like, you're going to the palace, you're going to this site, you're going to see Big Dan. And I'm just like, well, I'm going to the hood, so we'll see how that goes.
Is it near the hood? Because if so.
Is it near the housing estates?
That'll be good. It'll be good to see, you know, all aspects and really soak in the atmosphere there. And then while you're there at the Birmingham gym, you might, you know, cultivate a little following for you for fight night as well.
Oh, for sure. I know. Like, I've got heaps of fans over there. They're just like, they're pumped. Like, it's a good fight. Like, Arnold Allen's a pretty likable guy. There's a lot of respect there. So I think, yeah, it's one of those fights where everyone's like a fan of both guys. I would liken it to, like, people were saying, oh, you're going to go to his hometown, are they going to boo you and stuff like that? And I'm not anticipating that. It'll be like when I fought like Ala Quinta in Melbourne. And there's just like a lot of respect for what Al's done in his career. Yeah. So it's like, even though they usually boo our opponents, you know, when we're on this side of the world and someone flies in from America or wherever. But it wasn't like that with the Ala Quinta fight. Like, they cheered for me, they cheered for him, and they just wanted to see a good rumble. And then it's kind of what we're bringing to the table.
Yeah. Is it easier though? Is it because from what I've seen of Arnold Allen, you know, he's a real stand-up guy and seems like a nice guy. But is it easier to have an opponent that you don't like, or does it not matter?
To me, it doesn't really matter. Like, there's just, there's like aspects to both. There's like components to both. Like, you can take some and be motivated by some. I guess the motivation for this fight is, it's easy because I can just be motivated by how good he is. I can go back and like watch his fights and see his film, and I do have a lot of respect, legitimate respect. So that alone, like, obviously everything else wakes me up for it, going to the O2 and all of that, like, train hard. But when you're facing the caliber of opponent such as Arnold Allen, that really motivates you in the gym and gets you working on things and really puts you under the pump to make some pretty big improvements. Yeah. And so that's what it's been. It doesn't matter too much, but it can, like, you know, if you have an opponent that you hate his guts and he's saying mean stuff about you, like, that motivates you as well. Then you're just training hard. But so this is different, but still incredibly motivating at the same time.
And just to refresh our viewers on Dan's opponent, Arnold Allen, he's undefeated in the UFC so far in the featherweight division, ranked number 7. What do you make of him as a fighter? I know we've had this discussion before, but what do you make of him as a fighter now that, you know, your preparation for him is, you know, all but wrapped up?
Yeah, quality, like, well-rounded opponent. He's good. He's good everywhere. I think it'll be, you know, he'll tend to look to strike in this fight and test the skills out on the feet. So that'll be exciting for sure. Like, if it turns into a bit of a striking match. But yeah, he's 8-0 for a reason. Like, the kid's are absolute gun, and it's a real honour to get out there and to be able to get an opponent like that for coming back down to featherweight, and to just, you get through Arnold Allen, you're straight back in the mix. You're straight back in. There's, without a doubt, he's on an 8-fight win streak in the UFC. Without a doubt, that an 8-fight win streak in the UFC is putting you in place for title contention. So to beat a guy like that is to take all of that momentum that he's created for himself, take it for yourself.
Yeah, most definitely. He hasn't fought anyone as tall as you in the UFC yet, I've noticed. And he has been training with Leon Edwards from the welterweight division, who I believe is the same height as you. So what do you think about that in terms of preparation? I know his nana said that the height difference wasn't fair, apparently.
Oh, man,
Yeah, worried for Moko there. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that? And how do you use this to your advantage?
Yeah, like, obviously use like a reach advantage. Like, he fights quite long as well, and he seems like he's quite good at covering distance and tricky on the outside. But yeah, like, you obviously have to use like your natural abilities, and that's one of my natural advantages is that I'm lanky.
Were you expecting this fight to go without telling us exactly where this fight is going to go? Or where you want it to go?
I'm not too set on anything. I'm more just focused on myself and the kind of performance that I'm bringing to the table. Like, I know that if I go out there, back myself, I'm confident in my skills that it's my time to really make an impact. I feel like, yeah, that's like the funny thing. I feel like I'm just like waking up now. Like I don't feel like I've just turned 32. I don't feel like I've even started peaking yet. So it's just scratching the surface of that is very exciting.
Nice one. Now I'm going to go a bit left field for a minute. ANZAC Day is just around the corner. And we do hear a lot of talk coming out of the City Kickboxing Gym about, the ANZACs and what Australia and New Zealand are doing, becoming quite a formidable force on the world circuit at the moment. And we just saw Carlos Blood and Eugene over in Australia at Alex Volkanovski's gym. So I just wanted to get your opinion on the collaboration with Freestyle MMA and how you feel, Australasian MMA is rising at the moment.
They're a pack of scumbags, a lot of them. They're all good. Like we rib it. Like there's obviously that's what it is. We'll rib each other until someone from somewhere else in the world tries to fight us, and then we're grouped together and we're like, yeah, let's get those guys. So it's cool, man. It's cool. I get asked that question non-stop. Oh, well, Alex is the champion. Aren't you gunning for his belt? And it's like, man, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. That's nothing in this sport of any sports can be taken for granted. He's got a tough fight, Korean Zombie, and then after that he's got his Max Holloway rematch. So the belt is tied up for the next year. So it's like I'm gonna worry about a problem that I might have in a year's time, a year and a half's time. It's just like wasted energy. It's better to just focus on the now. Like this is the best move for my career. It's definitely not because I think the division is not as stacked or as tough as the lightweight division. There's absolute beasts down at featherweight as well. It's just the weight division I feel better competing at. That's why I'm there.
Yeah. Well, you'd have a more of a invested interest in how Alex does go now, naturally being in the same division as him.
But same thing, I don't want him to lose either.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I want him to win. Yeah. I want him to win. I want him to do well. I want him to carry on making millions of dollars. Like that's what I want for him. It's a tricky spot.
Yeah, but again, the bridge will be crossed once you get to it. You did mention he has a fight coming up against Korean Zombie. How do you see that fight going?
Yeah, I think he bashes him. I think it's not like Korean Zombie wears a lot of shots before he kind of can dish one back. I know I've training with Alex, like he can't he can't wear those shots. So the guy hits like a truck. There's a reason he's a forward on the rugby league field. Is because he's a big little man. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that is actually a perfect description of Alex Volkanovski when you think about it. Another future fight a week after yours is Kai Kara France against Askar Askarov. Hopefully, because we thought that maybe it'll happen last time, that this fight, if a win is the result, that it leads to a title fight in the flyweight division. It's a big fight for Kai.
Yeah, this is the title eliminator. Like, we were like kicking the bucket, being like, give him a title shot. Like they'd promised Cody a title shot. He made pretty quick work of him. Yeah, the UFC said he beats Askarov, he fights for the belt. So this is a belt fight. This is a number one contenders fight. Kai's one fight away from realizing the dream of stepping in there to fight for a world title. So he's looking good. We're doing camp at the same time, doing the same workouts, just trained together this morning, and he's firing on all cylinders as well.
Does it feel different? Knowing that this is on the line for him, does it feel when you're training with him, knowing that he knows that, does it feel different at all, that training?
That's like the beauty of our training and our training system is that it's like set there, so it's not, it's like anything, like the boys walk in, Israel walks in, like no one's a superstar once you step in that gym, like no one can just hold their belt up and get out of a workout or anything like that. Like, not saying they would, but anything like that. Like everyone, the work is like demanded of you, and it brings you back to earth real quick. That's why it's very cool to do a camp and actually train for in the gym, which is which is like been the first time in a while. So it's I'm pumped for that. It's been since Yeah, I haven't had a camp like this since a main event at UFC Auckland.
Yeah,
I haven't had a training camp I haven't had a training camp as uninterrupted by everything going on in the world as this camp.
Yeah, and that's a great thing, right?
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. No excuses.
yeah. I'm not looking for one. No.
Okay, before I let you go, Dan, we're doing a new segment on the show called The Quick Six.
Nice.
So it's just 6 general questions and you answer as best as you can.
Boom.
All right? All right. What is your best skill besides fighting?
Oh, nothing.
Sleep? Eat?
Sleeping.
Well, you're not really eating much these days.
Nah, I cook everything. Like, my missus is not here either. I cook everything in the air fryer. To be honest, like, I'm rubbish at anything else. Like, if I'm like, that's why people are like, oh, you know, you suck at this. I'm like, well, if I suck at this, I suck at everything.
Air fryer chef. We'll
Air fryer chef.
Air fryer chef.
I got some recipes.
If you weren't a fighter, what would you be?
Wouldn't have a clue. You'd kind of wish for the best. I guess I'd just attack anything with like the same enthusiasm and energy that I like attack this sport. It would definitely have to be maybe something in property or something in business for sure. Definitely running my own business. I quite like being my own boss. That's
Yeah, I believe that.
Don't like getting told what to do. Like you should be your own boss. Yeah. You should start your own business.
Your worst habit?
Worst habit? I'm pretty. Maybe I'll let my lawns grow a little too long. I think that might be it. Maybe when my neighbour gets a bit pissed off, and I'm just like, mate, I'm in training camp. Like, give me 4 more weeks. I'm out in 4 weeks.
I promise, I'll cut it soon.
Yeah, I'll cut it soon.
All right. Do you have any pre-fight rituals?
Me? Nah, I'm pretty good. Like, I'm a terribly unsuperstitious human. Like, some fighters are crazy. Some fighters are just like, when I wake up on fight day, I need to touch my knees 3 times and pat myself on the head and wear the right undies. But me, nah, like, you can honestly hit me with a car on fight day. Like, I'm not worried about that.
What is your favourite song?
Favourite song? I would say David Dallas, Running.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And
But once you get beat to a song, once you get your ass kicked to a song, you're like, oh. I'm not even, to be honest, I haven't even tried.
Yeah?
Like,
oh, yeah?
My ass kicked.
That's superstition.
That is superstition. You are right. Maybe it's just, I don't know. I just anticipate that if you've had your ass kicked to a song, that like you might start walking out, hear the song, and just have memories of the ass kicking and be like, oh, it's not really. Like the last thing you want before you re-step in the cage is like flashbacks of the last time you got your ass kicked. So
that's like anything. It's like, you know, a song reminds you of a breakup, a song reminds you of any tragedy.
Yeah. So maybe I'm not superstitious about it, but I'm hedging on the maybe I won't. I'm on the maybe I won't try that side of things.
Didn't serve me well. And finally, finish this sentence. Never forget to what? I thought something else. I thought wipe your ass, but obviously no one does that. It's important.
It's essential. That's a must. You must never forget to wipe your ass. I don't know why you would forget, but even it's your game.
Yeah.
It's your game. It's your fault. And on that note, we're
going to wrap it up right there.
Yeah, what a way to wrap it up, eh?
Okay.
Keep it PG.
Life advice right here from UFC Featherweight Dan Hooker. Thank you so much for joining us, and all the very best with your travels over to the UK.
Thank you.